Hello there everyone, this is Soul Super 17 here, and let me get through this like usual. I do not own anything from Black Clover or from the Devil May Cry series, the characters from both not My Hero, Black Clover, Devil May Cry series. I do not own anything from them. I do not own the names, the characters, the powers, nothing, and this video isn't non-paid, it's just for fun, and I do not even own this picture. Okay? Okay. Alright, so I'm just gonna get into this video. I already watched the last video, what I did, just to make sure where I was at, and I'm just gonna get into it. So yeah, last time where we left off of, what if Asta was a son of Sparta? Part 5. This is part 5. So yeah, like I said, last time we left off, and the messenger came and told everyone that the Clover Kingdom's being attacked. So I figure out that the guy who captured Asta used stand magic, and the one mage that was there that can use earth magic shows the Clover Kingdom, and with his rock creation magic with all this detail, which Mimosa is saying she can never done all of this before, so she's very impressed by it. And it wasn't Mimosa that did it. I don't care, I'm just making it him. Seems like a lot more easier then. So Asta's looking at it. He just walks away after taking a couple minutes of looking at the diagram of the Clover Kingdom. Then he looks outside, and he's having his head out the window. He just goes that's a lot of monsters down there, or zombies. Zombies, right? Undead people, right? I don't know. That just popped in my head. As Nozel is looking and goes what are you gonna do about it? He goes well, I mean, they're dead, so why not put them out of their misery? I mean, I kill demons. Zombies are pretty much the same thing, I guess. I mean, should I feel bad about it? Never mind. Whatever. Asta's just saying. Everyone's just trying to figure out a strategy, and then Asta just looks at the three dogs, which are Cerberus, and he goes Cerberus, transform back into a bike. Which everyone looks and goes what? Those mellow dogs, what can they do? And next thing you know, they all start transforming back into his motorcycle. It's the way it is, it's I really want to describe it as they're seeing everything, the engines getting back together from one of them, different parts of the dogs are come attaching to each other, just it's so weird. And next they're back into the motorcycle, and Asa's gonna oh, I'm gonna enjoy this. Literally, he just says it just like that, and he just walks to his bike. He has the window still open, and everyone's wondering what is he gonna do. He can't be knows well, and Pagolion says, "Don't tell me, you're crazy, Asta. You are crazy." They're just they literally Pagolion knows well was actually paying attention to Mimosa, Klaus, and Noel's conversation with so they know his name. And he gets on his motorcycle. He goes what do you mean I'm crazy? This is just how I am. So he just starts the engine, revs the bike, grabs his motorcycle, and then also he just pops a wheelie, going to the open window. When he lands the front tire back up, he just then gets out his rose gun, shoots a table leg. It turns into a ramp, and he just jumps. He goes on the ramp, goes right into the window. Well, out the window, I mean. And he's just gonna well, this is awesome! It just like he's just like falling down, just screaming that, which everybody in the room besides is going like just in shock, and Yuno's just putting his hand on his face, just goes like he never changes. All right, guys, I'm gonna go after him like always. And then Noel asks, "What do you mean like always?" And then just says, Asta has a bit of a death wish sometimes. It's very complicated, and I don't understand how, but for some weird reason, he always goes to danger while everyone else runs to it. And he always comes out unscathed while I come out with a little bit of bruises and cuts. And yet I go there to save him. He saves me instead. So he just flies out the window, leaving everyone. While everyone in the Magic Knights, in the bank, in that room is just like wondering, what the heck is wrong with Asta? So let's go back to Asta when he's like falling after he said, "This is awesome," all that. So when he's like falling, he's thinking, should I have them turn back into dogs and take care of the zombies or the dead people, or just kill them all with my sword and guns and my motorcycle? So right before he lands, he says, dogs. So he has the back tire land first, then the front. He lands almost perfectly. He does like swerve a little, and he lands on the ground, not on the rooftop. But he does get back to balance. So he was like, "Okay, just made it." Whew. And all of a sudden, boom! He hits a freaking zombie. Like, he hits a zombie. He doesn't go flying off the bike. Well, actually, he goes flying off the bike, lands perfectly, and goes like, "Hey, watch where you're..." And then he sees where he is. There's like a whole bunch of zombies around him. He still has repent out, so he's like, "Oh, wow, this is embarrassing for me. I really need to look where I'm going." Note to self: never take your eyes off the road. So he unsheaths his sword, and he goes like, "All right, let's do this thing." I would want to say let's, the catchphrase from the Devil May Cry series, but I'm not. But you guys can just imagine him saying this. But yeah, anyways. So a couple of zombies run after Asta. Well, run towards Asta. He's just dodging them with ease. Some out his daggers and just having them hit them in the leg and then in the head. Basically, just like killing them, because he knows they're just dead. He goes like, "Wait a minute, I gotta make sure that they're..." Well, he doesn't know that they're dead. I mean, he's gonna know them soon. But he says, "Wait a minute, I gotta put on the freaking glasses." He puts on the glasses, and next thing you know, he sees zombies dead. He once human, such time, and he's like, "Oh, come on." Man, this is like, I wish I could try and find a way how to turn them back, but they're dead. Oh well. Well, like I said earlier up there, gotta put them out of their misery. So he just used judgment to the full range of it, and just multiple freaking zombies. Like, all of a sudden, you see multiple slash marks in the air, or like the civilians who run away are seeing multiple slash marks in the air, and then he's just in the center. And then all next, like around 150 of them are destroyed. And he's like, "Anybody else wants any?" And zombies can't say nothing, so they're like, "Rah!" And then so he goes like, "All right." He just dashes right through another like 50, killing them. He's not really doing much. He's just basically just using his sword, a gun, just so he can get to his bike. As soon as he gets to his bike, he says, "Cerberus!" And all of a sudden, the dogs, just transform back. I'm just gonna call it Cerberus because, Cerberus bikes, and why not just say Cerberus? And so he just like this. They like are like you think are gonna transform. I mean that's what he thinks, but then then just starts in the car and the motorcycle comes to him, and next thing you know he just activates like he puts it into attack mode. Are you thinking, oh yeah, wait, dogs. So he pressed the button. I think I gave it. Wait, yeah, let me just double check. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it wasn't a button. He said, hold up. I'm really sorry about that, everyone. I really am. But yeah, I almost forgot about the word that to do it. Let's just say he can call there. He just can say Cerberus to have it come back into, like you can just start and come to him, and then he can just say Cerberus transform, or transform back into the bike. But yeah, all right. So when the bike comes, he does not. I remember now there's an attack button for attack and adventure. So yeah, so he just says stance, and the bike starts transforming back into the three dogs. And so while they, are transforming, he's taking care of more of the zombies, and then they're like all three dogs are out. He goes, okay, Cerberus, attack the zombies and protect every human that's not a zombie. The ones that are screaming and running and can talk. And they just bark and they just start attacking the zombies. One like throwing like flamethrower at them. One's using his claws and teeth to bite through them. Another one just dashing right through them with its a fire around it. And he's going like, good dogs. That's what Asta's saying to them. And so he's running right through them, taking care of multiple of zombies. Well, everyone, along with, is like still taking care of the zombies. Like, they all came out finally, taking care of the zombies. But they're seeing, like, this. Multiple things are happening. Multiple zombies are getting taken down. The three dogs are taking care of a lot of them very quickly along with Asta. Nobody understands how he's doing this. It's like, he's a one-man army, they're thinking. But, they're zombies, they're, could be easily destroyed. But still, they're very impressed by him. So, well, the same thing happens to the captains of the Magic Knights. And the same thing happens with the little girl crying, and the guy with the necromancy, or wraith magic, whatever, is... Let me figure out his name. I should have looked him up. I am terribly sorry, everyone. 80s. Yeah. So, he's saying to the little girl that no one's going to be able to help her. She's going to die here. And yeah. But next thing you know, Asta says, that's what you think. And multiple blades hit all the freaking zombies right behind him. While the dogs, basically Cerberus, is just taking care of a lot of the other zombies around the whole entire area. He's not jumping right through the fire, Asta. And this one, he's just walking right through it. And when he walks out of the fire, you see, the flames are still on him. He is not, fazed by them. He is just walking right through it like they're nothing. And when he comes out of the fire, when you see his face, you can see, the freaking flames are still, on him. And he just, pats them off, huh. This check is very, very resistant to a lot of things here. Cool. And... 80s? Yeah. Just saying, how is that possible? No human can walk through fire. He goes well, I can. So, yeah. You dumb. And he just gets mad. He goes, what do you say? And so he's thinking, okay, this is just a magic knight. I can easily take him on. I just summoned my number 1, 2, maybe 3 and 4, and then he thinks, oh wait, I got that new one, and he's just laughing, saying, I'm gonna kill you, kid, and make sure you die too, along with that little girl. Asta's just sighing, just like, oh great, an egotistical maniac. Whoopee. And Rage's like, what do you mean egotistical? He was like, oh, nothing. Just nothing at all. And saying to himself, seriously, you really think you can kill me? You have zombies, I have swords and gun. And I got $3 freaking dollars taking care of all the freaking zombies. So, maybe I should just tell him. Also, I just noticed he only has one spell. He has the freaking, like, glasses on, so it says the one spell, but it's very OP. You know, to him. So he's thinking, I better take him down very quickly and get his book. So, before Asta even make one move, he does summon out all of his, like, his little creations that he made, like 1 through 4 or 5. His, like, the weakest to the most strongest one, to his newest one. He said that, we found this creature, and, well, I decided to bring it back to life as one of my little pets one of my little pets. And then, it's a demon, like, it's a demon that could talk, but, actually, yeah, it's a zombie still, but it can talk. And so, what type of demon could it be? Let's just say it's a big giant spider. No. Not a big giant spider. It's a demon that is mixed between and let's just call it a freaking dragon demon, just because, why not? And it's talking, saying like, master, should I kill this pet? And then he goes like, son of Sparta. And like, and Radius is saying like, what? Like, Sparta? Like, what do you mean, Drake? Well, not Drake, but dragon. And then he's like, I must serve him, not you. And then he goes, no, I must serve you, not him. And it's like contradicting, because he did die when he entered the world, because he was badly wounded by other demons. So when he died, Rades found him and revived him. So his old master with his new master, he's like very contradicting. And so he just starts roaring out in agony, because he's just fighting and he's gonna go on a rampage. Asta is just saying, well, that's unusual. A demon dragon that you brought back to life, it's fighting his old master's memory of him, and then, serving you. And now it's gonna go on a rampage. Great! It's gonna kill everyone here. And the radio's like, why are you saying like you're so cheerful? He was like, well, because it would kill everyone here, but it can't. He was like, why? Because Asta just has a little grin and says, because, well, you're looking at the only person that can kill it. So when Asta walks, he says, and Radio says, I'm not gonna let you kill my pets. And then he summons out all his, well, all of his necromancy zombies, summoning wizards at him, and all of a sudden, Asta just says, judgment. And then the judgment sphere comes all of them enter. He disappears, reappears, slashes, cut into pieces. The one with the barrier survives. He was the only one that survived, and Brady's going like, how? And then all of a sudden, his grimoire opens up. He takes out the demon dweller's, not the demon dweller's sword, the demon slayer's sword, and he chucks it through the magical barrier, hitting the shield necromancy zombie, pinning it against the wall. Then he brings out his juggernauts. He puts them onto his hand. No, he puts them on, and then all of a sudden he punches the ground. Chains go into it, and then all of a sudden they start, when the chains come out of the ground, they're right behind Rades, going to the sword, pulls it out, because Asta then lifts up his arm, pulling the sword out of the demon, out of the zombie, and it's pulling it through the ground. When it gets underneath Rades, he jumps up and the sword and hits Rades. Right when it, because it was right behind him, and when he jumps and the sword comes out of the ground, it hits Rades in the back, not the blunt of the blade, just the handle. Sends it flying forwards, and then also lets go of the gauntlets, and then switches them. Wait, yeah, double check. Give me a minute. Yeah, he switches out them to go back into the grimoire with repent. So when repent comes into his hand, he just says, too easy. Because he even grabs the demon slayer sword right in midair, laying it on the ground. He has the daggers. Multiple daggers are in the air. Then they all surround Rades. And Rades is like, what? What sort of magic do you have? And then Asta was like, oh, believe me, if you knew what type of magic I have, you never would believe it. Noelle does come over, and she's surprised to see a dragon on the rampage, but then he just whistles, and all three dogs are just running over to him. And then right when they get near, he said, "Sick 'em, boys!" And he just pointed to the dragon. They all run to the dragon. They jump onto the dragon's side and wing. One of them jumps onto the dragon's back. Another one jumps onto the dragon's wings. They're just clawing at it, biting him. And then both of them, they're again the wings. And when the dog is on the dragon's back, it's starting to try to cut for the scales, and it does. It gets to the skin and rips off a chunk of it, and then start breathing fire into the body of the dragon. The core is in the front, so it won't be destroyed. But the dragon is howling in pain, and then Asta appears right in front of it, and then he says, "Cerberus, transform!" And they just all transform into the bike. They just do it real quick. So when he basically says Cerberus again, it just starts riding to him and jumps off of the dragon's back. And he just jumps right up to the air, get onto the bike, put it in attack mode, and all of a sudden it has some spikes, and then he just starts revving up the engine. The bike's starting to glow. He just then put on the brakes, turn the wheel, to go all the way around to face the dragon, and just lets go, and then he's just going right towards it. And Noel was thinking, "Are you crazy?" And then all of a sudden, he just says, "Ha! Override." And I know you're probably thinking, "Why override?" I don't know. It just popped in my head like right now. I could have said overdrive, but said override. But and all of a sudden, he just starts dashing forward, and hitting the dragon with fire, which pierces pierces the body, and he's just going right through it. Then when he gets out of the other side, the dragon was like one half of it starts burning, the other half starts burning, and then the dragon just turns to dust. But for some reason, the core is still there. He was like, "Huh, like okay, so I guess I can burn the demons and the core still be alright. Cool." When he grabs the core and picks it up. Basically, he just puts it in the bag that he had. And so, the dragon is dealt with. The daggers are still around. Radies. And Pagolion gets there, and he's like saying to them, like, "Well done, well done for this." And he does give like the speech to Noel, but a little bit differently than canon. Then Radies starts laughing. You guys fell into our trap, and he goes like, "What do you mean?" They even found like it has 1 page in this book. And yeah, also I'm kind of eating dinner, so if I pause the video, I'm gonna, eat too. So yeah, just want to let you guys know that. But so Radius is just telling them that we're gonna win this and get what came after. And all of a sudden, little portal, a little dark dimensional portal opens up right underneath Pagolion. He says that he's gonna go there and take care of this while you guys defend the Clover Kingdom. Even what happens to all the Magic Knights captains, still happens. But the only difference is right when he's about to be covered and be teleported, Pagolion notices feels somebody right on he feels somebody right next to him, and then he just gets a shove right out of the spear, and he goes like, "Heh, you really think I'm gonna let you take all the fun?" He grabs Rose out real quick and shoots the pile of dead corpses with 2 bullets. And all of a sudden, they see somebody jump out of the corpse, and he says, "Take care of him for me, will ya?" And then Asta's just gone. And from Noel, Pagolion scream out, "Asta!" And then he's teleported right where they, where Pagolion would be. He was like, "Wow, big open room. I guess they were gonna try to fight him here." And then the leader of the Midnight Sun comes in and he goes like, "You're not the person we're looking for." And he goes like, "Yeah, I sort of just trade places with him." I'm not going. Asta saying, he goes like, "But he's weaker than me," so he's just holding the gun up to the person who's right in front of him. He goes like, "So they just have to deal with it. Well, deal with me for right now. So, come on, let's dance." And Lit isn't, the person who's playing as Lit, I'm not gonna say who, is saying, "I'm not gonna fight you. We were after another person, not you." It was like, "Again, I'm not gonna let you fight someone else but me." And he goes, and this person that's pretending to be Lit just says, "Alright, fine. But I've warned you, it's not gonna be eat." And then Asta just disappears right in front of his eyes. And he goes like, and the sword right near his neck. And he goes, "What do you mean it's not gonna be easy? It's already easy enough to take you on." And this shocks and he's like, how he goes like, it works in my favor. And all of a sudden, light spears come out of nowhere. Well, light spears come right in Asta, like above Asta, and he jumps backwards onto a wall, jumps forwards, and then just tries to do like the multiple stabs in midair, and then does trickster to dash forward, and then does a angel dash forward, get a little bit more distance away, and lands and he slides and stops, and he goes like, wow, that light magic's pretty impressive. Didn't know it could be that fast. And then he's like, and then Lit notices that, okay, when I said Lit, just know that this really ain't Lit, so yeah. But he's like noticing that there's a little bit of blood on him, and the sword's covered in darkness. He goes, "What's your magic?" He goes like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So, don't really know for sure yet. And this is like shocking. What? He doesn't know what to do. Like, this kid may be even faster than him, and but he's able to disappear, reappear, just like him, with the speed. Or he has teleportation magic. He doesn't know what. Then Asta says, "Alright, let's do this thing." Summons multiple freaking daggers. They just start going forward. He summons multiple at once, and they just all come rapidly fast. Can't keep up. He's like using a light whip, trying to block some of them, and they're just like, some just go right past him, just nicking him, not even like hitting him. It's just like, he's thinking, what is this kid? How is this even happening? He doesn't even know. So then all of a sudden, he just sees multiple slashes are coming right after him, and then he's right behind him. He resheaths the sword, and all of a sudden he just feels cuts, and then multiple gash wounds starts opening. He goes like, "Is that all you got?" And he's on one knee. Lit is on one knee. He goes like, "What are you?" Don't ask what you don't want to know. Before he could even unsheath the sword to slice off his head, yes, I'm making him about to kill him. Well, really, he's just gonna use the backside of the sword to kill him, to knock him out. But he doesn't know that, so he just disappears. Lit just disappears, and then a gate opens for him, and he goes right through it, retreating. Then all of a sudden, a gate opens right underneath Asta, which he then falls through. Excuse me. And he comes right back out, unharmed. Which surprised the dimensional, hold on. Which surprised Volatos. He's like, how? He opposed against Master Lit. And, he just revealed his name. He was like, oh, so that was his name. He was like, okay. I mean, he was kind of weak, but also kind of strong. I was just telling him, then he goes like, what do you mean? He goes like, I think he just underestimated me. It took me not as serious. So, yeah. So he's getting mad. He summons out all the Midnight Sun, the rest of it, and there's crazy doctor Mari, and the rest of them. Which for going on, is very impressed that he was able to, do this. Took on the leader, and he was like, "How did you survive?" He goes, "Oh, well, I didn't really need to cut through his magic. Just need to keep up with his speed and keep him on his toes. Besides, I gotta get a new weapon or item. So, if you guys would prefer, I'm gonna end this quick." As he cracks his neck, stretches and says, "Alright, it's been a while since I moved this fast. So, what do you guys do? don't blink. And all of a sudden, he gets in a stance, holding his sheath with, like, Repent still, well, he's holding Repent while he's still sheep, and his hands on it. He goes like, say this. 100 folds. Slashes of the gods. And then all of a sudden, Asta just, like how it was where he was, all of a sudden when he's gone, the ground actually literally does, you see cracks in it. And then when he returns, you see like a whole entire like gust of wind is going in where he went. And then where he stopped is where he started making all the slashes. And they're like multiple ones. Like it's like the judgment. But then there's like, but it's like more devastating. And then when he like reappears, it doesn't happen right away. He just walks away for a few minutes. Just saying, if you guys didn't want to die, or get unconscious, or badly hurt, you shouldn't have come and faced me. Right when he's just like, about to do, like, he's sheathing the sword, and when he's about to sheath it, he says, so, I hope you guys don't blame me for what happened. And when he sheaths it, finally, you just hear whole entire, like, boom. And everyone just was in the sky, still in the sky, falls down to the ground, unconscious, which surprised Voltos. He gets them all, and himself out of there. When he retreats with everyone, and he's like back at their hideout, he says, what was he? Was he a monster or a demon? He's like so terrified of Asta, he doesn't want to never face him again. He says, Master, what is, like, Lit is there, like, covered in wounds, and he said, what is he? He goes like, I don't know, but we have to take care of him soon, earlier than we thought. And they said, yes. And so, even though Lit is there, he gets them all out along with the tablet with the stones in. So the Wizard King got there, but right when they left, he says, I was too late. But he did get a look at the stone, tablet, and everything else. So, let's go back to Asta in the group. And then Noel Bergoglion going like, what was that? And like, how did you did that? He just looks and goes like, well, I just did it. I mean, I didn't really have a sword back then when I was a kid, but I was able to do the judgment with a stick. So, then I did that with a metal bar, well, like a metal pipe. Or no, a metal rod. And, well, and that's actually the weakest I went. I didn't have full control of my power when I was a kid, so I destroyed a certain area of the forest. Which then I got scolded for by Sister Lily. Jeez. That was a day I regret. And they just look at him going like, what? Also, did having the same where he got the fairy spirit and whatever that girl's name is that was facing him, that was doing the life force of people to get younger. Charmy was there too, and she still like took care of her, and still falls in love with all that. And so, right when everyone came back, right, the Magic Knight captains and the Magic Knights that were there came back. They hear just like Fugolion and Noel just talking to him, going like, if you have that much speed and power, why don't you ever use it all? He was like, why would I? Like, what's the point? Like, I'm trying to have a good time, like, in a fight. Trying to see how strong someone is. Trying to see if I can have a challenge or not. I mean, facing Magic Knights, that's way too easy. Facing these demons on our hand, it's a little more tricky. They're a lot more stronger than humans. That dragon was a zombie, not a demon no more, so I had to put it out of its misery. Wonder what the core is going to be like for a new weapon. And it's probably going to be a zombie-like one. If so, then that'll be so freaking sick. He's saying to himself. And Noel's can't be believing this. She was like, "What about royalty?" He was like, "Oh yeah, royalty especially. They're weak." And Fugolion Noswell was hearing it Noswell came over to see how Fugolion is, but then he heard Asta saying, "Oh, especially the royalty. They're weak." So he gets angry. He goes, "What do you mean? We're weak?" He goes, "Oh, not you guys." He says. He points to Fugolion, knows well. He goes like, "You guys aren't the weak ones." If someone thinks, "Oh, I'm a royalty. I have the privilege to do everything I can, and I can't get in trouble for it." Those are the people that are the weak ones. You two train. So you guys are really strong. I would like to have a challenge with you. I won't use my swords. Well, I won't use Repent. Or Rose, or the demon, or my other sword, and the other sword. And then the grimoire opens up and he pulls out the demon slayer sword and then the demon dweller sword, and he says, "I won't harm you with these swords," but as he put them back in, and then he just switches Repent back into the grimoire, and has Juggernaut. And he says, "But I'll fight you with these." And they're thinking, and they see the gauntlets, and they're like, "What the?" And Noel was going "What the?" And so he calls Cerberus, and the bike comes over to him. He switched back to Repent. He puts it. He notices. I mean, he takes a look around the bike to see if there's anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. He says, "Whew, that's good." And then he notices there's two metal bars. I mean, there's two metal loops. He's wondering what the. It looks weird. So he puts Repent on it, and he figures out, oh my god, this can hold Repent. I don't have to carry it everywhere. Cool. He's saying to himself. So he's happy about that. Noel, everyone else, he's doing what the. And then the Wizard King shows up. And he goes, Asta. Good job on taking care of the leader and taking care of the forces of the Midnight. Well, the forces of these people. He was like, "Yeah, it was no problem, Wizard King." And so he does say to Asta, "Where are you going now?" Because Asta's getting onto his bike. He says, "Oh, I'm just going to where I got my bike from." Well, he says with a little smile on his face. And Noel is saying, "No, you're not. You're gonna come with us and and give your report on what happened." He goes like, "After I get what I want." Well, get what I need. As then the shop owner appears from a corner of a house and goes, "Ah, young master, do you have the core of that, well, dragon that was turned into a zombie by that wizard?" He goes, "Yeah." He was like, turns out his magic was like necromancy, bringing the dead back to life. He goes, "Yes," which was good technically, because the core power would have been long gone then. It only lasts for a certain number of hours or days, depends on how strong the creature was. And he was like, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yes." "So, can I have it, please?" And he goes like, "Yep, here you go." He goes, and he goes, "This should come back in around a day or so. I'm gonna have to analyze the core to see what type it would be before I work on it, because I don't know for sure if I can use it." He goes like, "Alright." As the same thing with the sand guy, he's about to come over and like ask questions, but then all of a sudden he like stops in his tracks. He feels this uneasiness in the air, and it's coming from this man that he's talking to Asta. He's saying, "Hostile intent does not work on me, boy. Know your place." As he walks, turns the corner he came out of, and then he runs over to the corner and he's gone. Asta's just laughing. I was like, "You really think just because you're royalty, you can tell everyone what to do? Everyone has to obey you?" That's what I mean when I told you no, what's going on. And Noel's brother, oldest, was Nozel. He was like, "Oh, okay then, Nozel." That guy. That's my definition of someone's weak. Without him knowing his own limits. As they hear his words and understands what he's saying. But he still thinks it's wrong to consider he's weak, since he is technically the almost like, I think it was like second command. And he's like, "I don't care if he is like the freaking guildman, like the leader of the Golden Dawns. When you have somebody who's arrogant, they're weak. Because arrogance leads to mistakes, and mistakes can lead to people dying. And without a conviction that's to protect all, and not just for someone else, like sake of like proving how good they are to someone, you basically are kind of setting someone up to die, really. That's my belief. No one likes it. Too bad, just speak my mind. So, as Asta just puts in the bike back into revenge mode, he just starts revving the engine and just saying, "If anybody needs me, I'm gonna find That guy's probably sleeping somewhere, or just knocked out, whichever one. I bet he landed on his face or something, and now it hurts. He was always a crybaby when he was a kid. And then he just drives off. Everybody's just shocked the way how he's like acts. For a minute he could be like cold hearted, and next thing you know he can act all like different. He doesn't understand. Like, they don't understand his like what the heck's going on. And the Wizard King just says he's very interesting. As Noel just says, "Yeah, I don't know what to think of him." And she says it out loud. And she still isn't being a tsundere, it's just like she's gonna question Asta's like attitude sometimes, like this. He basically was calling a royalty weak and all, and nobody's like doing anything. She doesn't know how he's able to even talk like that, and thinks he can get away with it. And then somehow he does get away with it. He doesn't take he takes nobody's like insult. He can take someone's insults, but he doesn't care what anyone says. He'll just do what he thinks is right, or what he wants, and that's it. So after a couple of like minutes of driving, he comes up to a place where Charmy is, like using her cotton magic, and he just says, "Charmy, is that you up there?" And she comes over to the edge. She goes, "Ah, Asta, hi!" And she floats down, and he sees, he was like, I knew the guy fell asleep. And she goes like, "Do you know this guy?" He goes, "Yep, he's my old childhood friend and rival." And she goes, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah. Come on, let's get him to the infirmary." And she goes, "Alright." So he drives, and she looks at the bike, and she goes, "Oh, what's that?" He goes, "Oh, this is my new ride. You like?" She goes, "Yeah." So after, them chatting about what happened, they get to the infirmary. He drops off, and Klaus and Mimosa, did hear what happened to him. He's in the infirmary, but he's only knocked out, just needs to rest, and all that. And, yeah. And Napoleon, not forget about him, he does make the mark of Asta being his rival and everything still. It's just a lot way more different. So, Napoleon declared him his rival and said he'll become stronger than him and become the Wizard King. And Asta just smiles and says, "Okay, see ya." And so the Wizard King takes Noelle, Asta, and Charmy back to he takes Charmy and Noelle back to the Black Bolt's hideout along with Asta. But Asta told him he had a better way of doing it, so he just gets out Repent and just slashes downwards and then across, and then portal opens. So he's like shocked and amazed. And so they go through, they're at the Black Bolt's hideout, and yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it off, everyone. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Sorry I did not go much in detail. I got work soon, and yeah, I gotta eat my dinner too. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a nice night or day, and bye.